Welcome to an update video and very important information that you need to know right now about the upcoming Bitcoin ETF launching beginning of January, where a lot of questions, a lot of clueless thoughts and a lot of predictions that I heard, which basically really annoy me because there's a lot of bullshit out there. And before you listen to all of this crap, I just want to inform you as a 7 years long trader, especially in the crypto markets, someone that has expertise in leading the largest trading community and someone that speaks to a lot of experts from abroad, the investment space, if it comes to retail traders, hedge funds and investment managers and bankers, and obviously just normal people that invest. And as we know, we never want to be like the normal people in investing, because these are the ones that fall into the trap of losing their money, and the ones that do it the direct opposite, they are the ones that win. And I'm gonna give you this information right ahead and let my thoughts run a little bit on the upcoming Bitcoin ETF and what this means for the market and why this bull run will be way different than all the other bull runs. And you really need to position yourself. If you are not already in the markets, then this is obviously no investment advice, but you need to go all in right now. Not all in terms of like all your money, but you need to go in. You need to go in because at the end of the day, all the big guys out there predict Bitcoin going somewhere in between like $500,000 to $1 million per Bitcoin in the next 1 to 2 years. Currently, it's end of 2023. That means by 2025-6, we could see Bitcoin hitting easily $500,000 to $600,000. Now, when it comes to the fundamental analysis, which I post on a weekly basis, I predict that Bitcoin with a technical system, the predictions are at 125K per Bitcoin. When? We don't know. Time is always very, very difficult, but in a time range 1 to 2 years. But now the fundamentals kick in. So technical analysis, if you do the trend lines, if you do the support and resistance stuff, which I don't do, I do the SK system, but with the SK system, again, over 120K with support resistance indicators whatsoever, you will basically also come out at 120, 150K per Bitcoin. But this is going way above technical analysis. This time it's going into the fundamentals. Now, the last bull run, we easily predicted the entry. I bought Bitcoin at $3,826 somewhere on the 22nd of May or April 2021, so beginning of C19, and I sold at 62,000 even though Bitcoin went to 69,000. So we overextended on the technical analysis standpoint. So Bitcoin went higher than our targets, but just a little bit, which is completely okay because we built up a lot of stability. Okay, without going too deep into technical analysis right now, we had a very stable price floor. Price extended a little bit of our target. That just means that our prediction with the SK system was perfectly executed, and that's what the market did. And we bought very low and we sold very high, and that's the goal that we have at the end of the day. But again, why this Bitcoin and especially bull run or Bitcoin run? Because Bitcoin always has the dominance until volume flows from Bitcoin to Ethereum, from Ethereum into the altcoins. Majorly, we're gonna focus on Bitcoin right now, and this bull run is gonna be very different. First of all, we have two major aspects. Number one is the ETFs coming up, which we're going to talk about in a second. What does it really mean in an easy way for you to understand? And the second thing is we have the Bitcoin halving, right? Which is going to be May, April 2024. Now, most of the bull cycles, most of the bullish cycles, the cycles where Bitcoin started to increase heavily in price, was after or at around the time of the halving, right? Halving means that basically less Bitcoins are produced, or it's more difficult to produce more Bitcoins. That means supply, demand, underlying principle of every market. We have supply, so how much Bitcoins are getting out into the market being produced. Out of 21 million, which is the highest cap, we cannot go higher, right? And then demand is how many people want to buy. So if we have less Bitcoin coming into the market, considering that time is continuing, we have higher prices. Why? Because we know that it's going to be at 21 million is going to be the cap. Out of the 21 million Bitcoins already, I don't know how many millions are for the founder of Bitcoin or like in the network, then many Bitcoins obviously are lost. So let's say we are at around 15 million Bitcoin max cap, which is going to be circulated into the market or are circulating into the market after the halvings and after all the Bitcoins are produced. So at the end of the day, we are having not a shock of, let's say, supply, but supply is going to be reduced and demand is very high. And then we have the second important, and that's why this is a whole game changer thing coming in, and that's the ETF. Now, the ETF is, and again, I hear so much stupid stuff out there, but the ETF at the end of the day means that big hedge funds like BlackRock, Fidelity, like MicroStrategy, all of these hedge funds, they need to buy up Bitcoin. They need to buy Bitcoins physically. I mean physically in terms of hold them for them to launch the ETF, okay? So that means, first of all, we're gonna have a lot of basically Bitcoins being bought from ordinary people until it becomes very institutional. Right now, the market is very private. The market is holders of Bitcoins. Obviously, there's already institutions such as countries and big hedge funds and whatsoever, MicroStrategy, that already own Bitcoin, right, for their customers. But Bitcoin is still very much like, oh, I have 1 Bitcoin, oh, I have 0.5 Bitcoin, still very private. Now, what the institutions are gonna do is they're gonna buy all of these Bitcoins, so they're gonna institutionalize the market. So on a percentage, Bitcoin, which is basically the money for the people, but since people are stupid and they sell or they don't hold it, they don't believe in it, the institutions are gonna grab away the Bitcoins. Once the institutions have the Bitcoins, which they're already buying or they're still gonna buy, ETFs mean, right, without going too deep into it, ETFs mean all these hedge funds that are applying for these ETFs, they need to buy Bitcoin, right? Because these Bitcoins are gonna be sold then to big money investors, to old money, right? So there's new money and there's old money. New money is not only old money, new money is not only a type of style, but new money especially is people right now, people that think alternatively, people that don't like the current financial system. It's not a lot of people, but these people own Bitcoin right now, right? That is new money. But we never had old money in the market. We don't have old money. Like people that have companies, people that have millions and billions and trillions in US dollars, they are not going on a tiny little exchange as Coinbase or Binance and then they buy a couple of Bitcoins. No, they don't do that. They have all their volume of money, right? And we need to speak in volume because it's a lot of money invested into hedge funds, institutions, private offices, and they manage their money by having parts in companies and having bonds, the ETFs, and having money in gold and whatsoever, right? So all of this old money never really touched the market. And most likely, there's another fact, the money in Bitcoin right now is old money. It is like money that is like being moved on and off exchanges, right? There's not really new money coming in. It's more like, okay, market goes up, big traders sell again, and then they buy again. So market is like not really new money is coming. Now, what do we need for price to go higher? We need more demand. How do we achieve more demand? And why this bull run is going to be different is because we have institutions coming in. It's because BlackRock and all these hedge funds, they will open the world for big money to come in. And again, big money, they don't open a Coinbase account and buy a couple of Bitcoins. That's like physically not really even possible. The amount of money that they wire, they cannot wire that to Coinbase or Binance. You know, it's not like a couple of millions. It's like a corporation buying. Now, the crazy thing that backs all of what I'm saying is that if you research what, for example, these big hedge funds such as BlackRock are saying, right? And Larry Fink, one of them, for example, is saying that in the next years, most likely 85 to 95% of the portfolio of people that invest, for example, through hedge fund, old money people, like people that have not old people, but old money, right? The old money people, 85 to 95% of their whole portfolio will be exposed to Bitcoin. So that means if you have 100% of the pie, 85 to 95% of that money will be in Bitcoin, and all of the rest of the money will be in gold, in bonds, and other ways of investing or in other markets, okay? That is insane. That is really insane. Just imagine how much money that is. Now, another very important thing for you to understand is that if you compare gold and the gold ETF to where gold is nowadays, okay? How much money, we're not talking about price anymore, price doesn't really matter, but how much new volume, how much new power came into the market. Because what the financial system at the end of the day does is they see Bitcoin, they saw Bitcoin over the years. No one wanted Bitcoin, everyone hated it. Nowadays they see we have big problems in our economy. Everything is not tangible anymore. There's inflation, cash, and all the other assets. They're just flooding the market. The prices are not stable anymore. The housing market is difficult. Every government is just printing and printing and printing and printing money, and there's no stability anymore. But where do you go when it comes to stability nowadays? We need two things. Number one, we need a max cap, which is 21 million Bitcoins. And number two, we need a digital product. Not gold, a digital product. Bitcoin is the digital gold. Do you understand what I mean? In our world where everything is changing and digitalizing, right, and we are going through the era of digitalization, we need an asset that is the same. We still use cash, physical money. We still use banking systems, which are very old. They still work on old systems like the IBAN and BIC systems. They are slow systems. If you have a normal bank account nowadays with a country, let's say Volksbank or Sparkasse or some of these normal bank accounts that countries give you access to, not the online banking accounts such as Revolut or Number 26 or whatever they're called, but the normal bank, it still takes 3 days to wire money from A to B, even if it could be physically your neighbor. But if I go to my Sparkasse or Volksbank or Commerzbank, it's still gonna take me up to 3 days to send them the money. That is insane. That makes no sense. So our system, our financial system is old. We need a new version. Ripple coming in and changing the way of international wiring and systems, right? How money is sent, very interesting too, maybe a topic for another video. But when it comes to Bitcoin and the ETF, that is what's gonna happen. Now, my game plan, and with the knowledge I have, I'm gonna aim for 125K, right? And that's where I'm gonna start to sell probably 30 to 40% of my positions, okay? With the rest, I'm gonna stay in because I don't need the money, and I know fundamentally with everything that has happened, Bitcoin is going through the roof. Okay, and through the roof, literally through the roof, because you will never see how fast a market can pump so much volume. Now, don't get that wrong, because that's what most people are going to do wrong. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of a side nugget, is that the day the ETF launches in Jan, most people will buy and open trading positions, which you shouldn't do. I'm gonna predict with a very high probability the day the ETF launches, price is gonna fall. Price is gonna drop. So from now on until the ETF, which I also talked about in my market update, which we're gonna link below, and the market is doing it since the last 2 days, I've been seeing it. I've been just checking the total market volume of crypto, which is 1.6 billion US dollars, which is basically nothing. We're gonna increase price, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatsoever, dominance, Bitcoin, they're gonna increase until the ETF launch. After the ETF launches, what is gonna happen is that we're gonna have a correction. Why? Because all the idiots are, oh my God, Bitcoin ETF, let's buy, let's buy, let's buy, let's buy. These orders, these buy orders from retail traders, they're gonna fill the liquidation for big institutions. The price is gonna surge, and that's where the institutions gonna buy in, because they know that's a very last time where they can see Bitcoin at 30,000, 32,000, 27,000, 35,000, somewhere in between the 25 and 35,000 range is where the price is gonna drop into, right? We need to see with technical analysis what the market is showing us. Right now, difficult to say because market is only going up, but we have like a target somewhere at like, let's say 30,000, 32,000. I don't think that we're gonna see a 30,000 below 30,000 anymore, but somewhere between 30 and 32,000 is probably the buying zone right now. Now, this is an off chart video. I don't have the chart in front of me, and I'm not like someone that remembers prices. I don't really care. I'm someone that trades, and when I trade, I trade, and when I invest, I invest. But besides that, I don't remember all of these prices and stuff like that because it makes no sense. It's just gonna keep you busy, and that's what you don't want to do. You wanna set and forget. That's very important when it comes to trading and investing. But with that being said, price is gonna drop, and from there on, we're gonna see volume coming in, which is still gonna take a little bit. Price will increase because all of these institutions need to buy. But from there on, it's gonna take a little bit. It's not gonna like be a big bang. It can be a big bang, but if you think that's a big bang, let's say Bitcoin going from 35 to 60 all-time high, breaking the all-time high 70, 80, that's not the big bang. Once the volume is open and coming in, you will see a big bang. Because let's be very honest, still the biggest problem in Bitcoin and crypto in general is the acceptance and people having the opportunity of infrastructure to buy and invest into Bitcoin. It is a hassle to invest into Bitcoin. It sucks. KYC here, there, minimums, maximums, then where do I hold it? And this exchange goes down, trust is not there, blah, blah, blah. We need trust to come in. We need trust to build up in the market. And who has trust? BlackRock has trust. BlackRock owns the world. And if BlackRock owns the world and all the other hedge funds own the world and own the companies and own what they say and own what they think and own where they put their money into, and they are so hot about Bitcoin and crypto, imagine where this is going. Imagine where this is going. And if you have a game plan, which is an easy one on paper, a hard one emotionally, don't underestimate the emotional trouble that you're gonna go through investing into these markets. It sounds very easy, but most people don't lose because of the entry. They lose when they get into the markets. Once they are in the market, the emotional struggle that they have is what's gonna make it difficult for them to survive at the end of in the market. Being emotionally stable and not selling just because of a couple of news or price dropping a little bit, or not selling too early. Many people sell way too early. If you want to learn how to do this, then I would really highly suggest you to learn a trading system and become part of the largest trading community in Europe and soon in the world, the TPR community. If you want to find out more about that, let me know. Now, very important, all of this information is my personal opinion. It's the average of the people that I consume, their knowledge, their minds, but don't be an idiot when it comes to this upcoming move, because I truly believe this is the last big wealth transfer where people from zero can make hundreds and millions of dollars. There will never be a time anymore where it's so easy, because where the financial future is leading us is into the full and complete control through CBDCs and online digital money, where you are basically a rat.